In the vast heavens, before time was measured, divine light filled eternity. Among the celestial hosts, one angel stood above the rest, Lucifer, the morning star. His brilliance outshone all others, his beauty unparalleled, his wisdom profound. Created by God himself, he was the mightiest of the archangels, adored and revered. His voice led the choirs of heaven, resonating with melodies of praise and worship. Golden wings stretched wide, his presence commanded awe among angelic beings. Yet within this radiant creation, a thought was forming, a whisper of something more. An ember of ambition smoldered beneath the surface of his perfect soul. Lucifer gazed upon the throne of the Almighty, the eternal seat of power. He had seen the Creator weave the fabric of reality with divine authority. But a question stirred within him. Why must he serve when he could reign? Was he not the brightest, the most gifted among all celestial beings? Why should he bow when his own radiance rivaled the very stars? The thought grew stronger, feeding on the silent echoes of his pride. In the depths of his soul, admiration twisted into envy, devotion into desire. A storm was gathering in heaven, and soon it would break. At first, the other angels saw no change in their beloved brother. His voice still led the heavenly choir, his wings still spread in celestial glory. Yet within him, something was different, a fire that did not belong. In secret, he gathered those who admired him, those drawn to his light. Softly he spoke of a new order, a heaven where all were equal. Why should one rule when the power could be shared among the divine? Did they not deserve more than eternal servitude, endless obedience? And so the first seeds of rebellion were sown in the gardens of paradise. What began as whispers soon became a cry, a call to arms. Legions of angels rallied behind Lucifer, enchanted by his vision. They sought freedom, power, a destiny unshackled by divine decree. Michael, the warrior of God, stood against his brother's rising storm. The heavens trembled as a great battle ignited among the stars. Wings clashed, swords of celestial fire met with unyielding fury. The sky split with the cries of war, light against light, brother against brother. And in the heart of the chaos, Lucifer's fate was sealed. Defiant until the last, Lucifer fought with unmatched power and wrath. Yet the will of the Almighty could not be overturned by ambition. With a single command, heaven itself rejected its fallen son. A great chasm opened, swallowing Lucifer and his rebellious kin. Down they fell, through endless void, through fire and darkness. Heaven's gates closed above them, their light torn away forever. Lucifer, once the brightest star, was now cast into eternal shadow, and from the depths his voice rose, not in sorrow, but in rage. He awoke in a realm unlike any he had known before. Fire licked at the horizon, rivers of molten fury ran deep. The land was barren, scorched by the wrath of his fall. Yet in this abyss he saw something new, a kingdom of his own. If he could not rule in heaven, he would reign in the underworld. The fallen gathered around him, awaiting his command. With fire in his eyes, Lucifer proclaimed his new name. No longer an angel, now he was Satan, Lord of hell. Far above, heaven remained unshaken, its order restored. Yet God did something unexpected. He created a new being. From dust, he formed humanity, fragile yet filled with divine breath. These mortals, weak and imperfect, were granted the love of God. Lucifer watched from below, fury rising like flames in his heart. Had he not been cast down for seeking greatness, yet these were cherished? He swore then that he would turn them away from their Creator. If he could not rule heaven, he would rule the hearts of men. Disguised in shadow, he slithered into Eden, the perfect paradise. There among the trees he found the first of mankind, Eve. With words like honey, he whispered doubt into her ear. Did God truly forbid the fruit, or was he hiding knowledge? Would she not become like him, wise beyond her form? The seed of temptation took root, and with one bite, mankind fell. Lucifer smiled, for he had won his first victory against the Almighty. And thus, sin entered the world, staining creation forever. Through ages, Lucifer wove his influence into the hearts of men. Kings rose and fell, Empires crumbled under his whispers. He did not need to wage war in heaven. His battle was now on earth. With each soul lost, his kingdom in the abyss grew stronger. He tempted, deceived, and twisted desires into chains. Religion spoke of his evil, yet still, they fell into his grasp. He did not need to force their hands. He only needed their doubt. And with each moment, he moved closer to his ultimate revenge. But the story was not yet over, for prophecy had spoken of his fate. A final war would come, a reckoning between light and dark. The Son of God would walk the earth, and Lucifer would stand against him. The battle of eternity would not be fought with swords, but with sacrifice. Lucifer, the fallen, the tempter, the ruler of the damned, knew the truth. One day the heavens would open again, and judgment would fall upon all. Would he fight, defy until the end, or would redemption be his true path? Only time would tell, as the war between good and evil raged on. In the depths of the abyss, Lucifer built a kingdom of fire and despair. His throne, forged from obsidian and brimstone, stood amidst eternal flames. The fallen gathered before him, awaiting his decree, their loyalty unshaken. He ruled not with love, but with fear, for in his kingdom, mercy was weakness. Demons roamed freely, their laughter echoing through the forsaken lands. Each lost soul that fell to corruption became another subject in his realm. Yet despite all he had, a void remained within his heart, for even in darkness, he longed for the light he once knew. Lucifer knew he could never breach heaven's gates again, but he could corrupt the world that God had cherished so dearly. His war was no longer fought with swords, but with whispers and deceit. He placed greed in the hearts of kings, sowed hatred among brothers. Where there was love, he planted envy. Where there was peace, he stirred war. Every act of destruction, every lie spoken, fed his growing dominion. Mankind, blind to his hand, believed they chose their own path. Yet every step away from the Creator was a step into Lucifer's grasp. With time, humanity forgot the voice of the one who made them. Lucifer introduced false gods, idols crafted by the hands of men. They worshipped stone and gold, seeking power in lifeless forms. He disguised himself in many ways, taking the names of deities, Baal, Moloch, Zeus, each a mask to lure humanity astray. Priests and rulers bent to his will, performing dark rituals in his name. Through their worship, his influence spread like a disease upon the earth. And still God watched, waiting for the appointed time. But not all of mankind was lost to Lucifer's whispers. Some remained faithful, even in the face of suffering and despair. Job was one such man, righteous and devoted to the Creator. Lucifer challenged God, claiming Job's faith was born from blessings. "Take away all he has," Lucifer sneered, "and he will curse you." God allowed the test, and Lucifer unleashed suffering upon Job's life. Yet despite the loss, the pain, and the trials, Job did not waver. Lucifer had lost, proving that faith was stronger than fear. A great disturbance shook Lucifer's kingdom, something he had not foreseen. A child was born, not of earthly power, but of divine prophecy. This was no mere mortal, but the Son of God himself. Lucifer watched with rage as Jesus walked the earth, healing the broken. He tempted him in the wilderness, offering dominion over all. But the Son did not yield, resisting where mankind had fallen. Lucifer knew then that his reign over souls was in danger. For this Messiah had come not to rule, but to redeem. If he could not tempt the Son directly, Lucifer would corrupt those around him. He whispered into the heart of Judas, twisting love into greed. With 30 pieces of silver, Judas sealed his fate in his master's. Lucifer rejoiced as Jesus was arrested, beaten, and condemned to die. The heavens wept, the earth trembled, and darkness covered the land. As the sun breathed his last, Lucifer believed he had won. The world belonged to him now, free of its so-called savior. But he had underestimated the true power of divine sacrifice. 3 days passed and something impossible shook the depths of hell. The gates of the underworld burst open with a light unknown to its domain. Lucifer watched in horror as the Son of God rose from the grave. Death itself had been conquered, the chains of sin broken forever. The souls he had claimed were freed, rising beyond his grasp. Lucifer's victory had been an illusion, his power weakened forever. For now mankind had a way back to the Creator's embrace, and for the first time, Lucifer knew what true defeat felt like. But though he had lost the war for salvation, his battle was not yet over. If he could not stop the sun, he would corrupt his followers. Lucifer set his sights on the church, twisting faith into fanaticism. Where love was preached, he stirred division. Where grace was given, he planted pride. He led men to kill in the name of the very God they claimed to serve. Crusades, inquisitions, and holy wars, each a stain upon the faith. Though the light of Christ remained, it flickered beneath shadows of corruption. And so Lucifer's influence endured, even in the house of God. As centuries passed, a new weapon emerged against faith: doubt. Lucifer no longer needed to tempt with power or greed. Instead, he whispered skepticism into the minds of men. Science and philosophy became tools, not to seek truth, but to deny it. If God is real, where is he? The world began to ask. Religious texts were questioned, miracles dismissed as myths. Lucifer rejoiced, for doubt was stronger than any chain. And as belief faded, his kingdom grew in silence. But prophecy had long foretold the final chapter of Lucifer's story. The world would grow darker, faith would wane, and chaos would rise. The Antichrist would come, a leader who deceives with promises of peace. Nations would bow, blinded by lies, and the earth would tremble in fear. Lucifer would have his moment of triumph, his final kingdom of darkness. But it would be short-lived, for heaven would not remain silent forever. A final battle loomed, where the forces of light would descend once more. And this time, Lucifer's rebellion would end for eternity. The heavens will open, and the King of Kings will ride forth. Michael, the archangel, will stand once more against the fallen one. No longer a war of swords, but a war of truth and justice. Lucifer will gather his legions, the armies of darkness rising in defiance. Yet the voice of God will thunder, and all creation will bow. The false king will be cast into the abyss, never to rise again. The world will be restored, free from his deception and pain. And at last, Lucifer's story will come to its final end. The day of reckoning will arrive, the heavens ablaze with divine wrath. Lucifer will stand defiant, his wings darkened, his heart burning with fury. The archangels, led by Michael, will descend with celestial fire. The armies of darkness, countless and fearsome, will rise for a final stand. But no strength of demons, no power of lies, can overturn divine decree. A mighty chain, forged by the will of God, will bind the fallen one. His cries will shake the cosmos as he is cast into the abyss. For 1,000 years he will be imprisoned, his reign shattered. With Lucifer bound, the world will see an age of light. No more deception, no more war, no more suffering by his hand. Mankind will flourish, free from the whispers of the tempter. Truth will reign where once there was confusion and deceit. Yet even in paradise, some will long for the chaos of before. For in the heart of man, the choice between light and dark remains. The day will come when the chains will be loosened once more, and Lucifer will walk the earth again, one final time. Released from his prison, Lucifer will find the world changed. No longer will he be feared as a devil, but welcomed as a liberator. He will not come with fire and brimstone, but with words of peace. He will deceive the nations, leading them into rebellion once more. The world will forget the lessons of the past, blinded by his charm. He will promise freedom, power, and wisdom beyond imagination. And humanity, in its pride, will listen, just as it did in Eden. But this time, the deception will be short-lived. Then the heavens will open, and the final judgment will begin. The books of life will be opened, and all deeds will be revealed. No lie can be spoken. No secret can be hidden from the Almighty. Lucifer will stand before the throne, his fate already sealed. His kingdom, built on deception, will crumble into nothing. He will have no defense, for even he will know the truth. The voice of God will sound like thunder across eternity, and the fallen one will hear his final sentence. With a voice of finality, the Creator will cast him away. No longer the prince of the air, nor the ruler of darkness. He will be thrown into the lake of fire, his dominion gone forever. The legions who followed him will share his eternal fate. No longer will he tempt, deceive, or corrupt the hearts of men. His name, once spoken in fear, will become nothing but a memory. The gates of eternity will close behind him, sealing him forever, and the universe will be free at last. A new heaven and a new earth will rise from the ashes of the old. No more sorrow, no more pain, no more whispers of the fallen one. The light of the Creator will shine without end, filling all things. Mankind will walk with God as they once did in Eden. No sin, no death, no separation will exist between them. The redeemed will dwell in peace, knowing the war is over. The final chapter of Lucifer's story will be written, and his name will fade, lost to the endless glory of God. But even in his fall, his story leaves a lingering question. Why did he choose rebellion when he had everything? Why did he forsake the highest place for the lowest? Was it pride, greed, or something even more profound? Some say he wanted to be like God. Others that he wished to be free. Perhaps he believed he was right, that he had been wronged. Or perhaps, in the end, he was simply blind to the truth. The answer lies buried in the depths of eternity. Though cast down, his influence lingers in the hearts of men. Every act of pride, every deception, every hunger for power, his mark remains. His rebellion echoes in every tyrant, every war, every betrayal. His whispers still dance in the minds of those who seek only themselves. Yet the choice remains for all, to follow his path or reject it. For every soul must choose between light and darkness. Lucifer's story is not just his own, but the story of all creation. And in the end, only one truth will stand. As Lucifer fell, so too did mankind, drawn by the same temptation, the desire to be more, to be free, to challenge the divine. Yet where he was cast down, men are offered redemption. Unlike the fallen angels, humanity has a path back to grace. The Son of God came not to condemn, but to restore. Even the most lost soul can find the light if they seek it. For the war is not fought with swords, but with choice. And in the end, each must decide whom they will serve. Though his fate is sealed, his battle still rages in the present. Not in the heavens, not on the battlefield, but within every heart, every doubt, every temptation, every moment of weakness is his ground. He does not need to appear in fire. His whispers are enough. The world moves forward, yet his influence remains hidden in shadows. He does not force, he only offers, waiting for man to take the bait. But those who see through his lies will never fall, for truth is the greatest weapon against the father of lies. Prophecies warn of his return, of a final age of deception, a world where truth is lost, and all bow to a false king, where good is called evil and evil is called good, where men no longer seek the divine, but only themselves. Yet even in the darkest times, light will not be extinguished. For those who remain steadfast, salvation is certain. Lucifer may rule for a moment, but eternity belongs to God, and his reign will end as it was always meant to. Lucifer's story is not one of triumph, but of loss. A being of light who chose darkness, forever bound by his own pride. He had everything, yet desired more, and so he lost it all. His tale serves as a warning to those who seek only power, for pride leads to destruction, and rebellion ends in ruin. He may have challenged the divine, but he never stood a chance, for the Creator's will is absolute, and no darkness can stand against the light. In the end, the truth remains. God reigns now and forever. Lucifer's rebellion was built upon a single lie, the promise of freedom. He told the angels they were enslaved, that God's rule was oppression. Yet in his kingdom, there was no love, no peace, only suffering. He had traded the eternal light for a throne of shadows. But in his heart, he knew, his freedom was an illusion. For even in the depths of hell, he remained bound by his choice. He could never return, never reclaim what he had lost. And so, his only comfort was dragging others into his fall. Lucifer no longer waged war in the heavens but on the earth. Mankind was now his battleground, their souls his prize. With subtle whispers, he guided kings and empires to destruction. He turned nations against each other, feeding their greed and pride. Every act of betrayal, every sin, was a victory for him. And still, men believed they acted of their own free will. They did not see the unseen hand, pulling them like puppets. For his greatest trick was making the world believe he did not exist. Lucifer had learned that brute force could not break humanity, but deception was far more powerful than any sword. So he raised false prophets, men who claimed divine wisdom. They twisted the truth, leading countless souls astray. He filled the world with half-truths and conflicting beliefs. Where there was clarity, he brought confusion. Where there was faith, he brought doubt. Many who sought God unknowingly followed him instead, and so his lies spread further than ever before. Lucifer did not need to sit on a throne to rule the world. He whispered into the ears of kings, shaping their desires. Through them, he built empires of greed and war. He turned rulers into tyrants, seeking power above all else. Great civilizations rose and fell, but his influence remained. With each kingdom that perished, his grip tightened on humanity. For he knew that the more men thirsted for power, the further they strayed from God. And with every fallen ruler, his kingdom grew. Even the house of God was not beyond his reach. Lucifer did not attack the church with force, but from within. He sowed corruption among its leaders, twisting their purpose. Faith became a tool for power, and religion a weapon for control. Men killed in the name of God, believing they did his will. Yet their actions bore the mark of the adversary himself. The true faith remained, but it was buried beneath centuries of sin. And Lucifer laughed, for even in holy places, he had found his throne. As the world moved forward, Lucifer changed his strategy. He no longer needed to tempt men with sin alone. Instead, he led them away from faith through knowledge. Science, reason, and philosophy became his new tools. He did not destroy God. He simply made men forget him. Miracles became myths. Faith became superstition. The world believed it had outgrown its creator. And so, Lucifer rejoiced in their blindness. In the modern age, Lucifer no longer needed false gods. He gave mankind a new idol, themselves. He made men believe they were their own masters, that they owed nothing to a creator, that morality was their own. Pride ruled their hearts, replacing faith with self-worship. They no longer needed a devil to deceive them, for they had become their own deceivers. And so, Lucifer's work was complete. The world now stands at the edge of his greatest triumph. Faith fades, morality is questioned, truth is no longer absolute. The signs of the end begin to manifest as foretold long ago. Wars and disasters, hatred and division, all signs of his influence. He prepares for his final rule, his last grasp for victory. A new leader will rise, one who embodies all his deception. The Antichrist, his ultimate pawn, will take the world stage, and mankind, blind to the truth, will follow him willingly. But just as he believes he has won, the heavens will open once more. A rider on a white horse will descend, the true King of Kings. With eyes like fire and a voice like thunder, he will return. The armies of heaven will follow, light against darkness once more. Lucifer will gather his forces, but he knows the outcome. For this time, there will be no rebellion, no second war. Only judgment, swift and final, will come upon him. The battle will end before it even begins. The time of Lucifer will finally come to an end. His name will no longer be spoken, his influence erased. The last great lie will be shattered, and truth will stand alone. He will see all he built crumble into dust. The souls he deceived will be freed, his kingdom undone. No more whispers, no more deception, no more war. For the father of lies will speak no more, and the light will shine forever, unchallenged. With Lucifer gone, creation will be restored. No sorrow, no suffering, no more fear of the dark. The world will be as it was meant to be. The Creator will walk among his people once more. Love will reign where hate once ruled. The heavens will sing, for the war is over, and all that was lost will be found again, forever and ever, without end. Lucifer's voice, once filled with pride, is now silent forever. The echoes of his rebellion fade into the void. No longer can he deceive, no longer can he tempt. The chains of judgment hold him where he can never escape. All that he once had, his beauty, his wisdom, his power, is lost. The morning star has fallen, never to rise again. His name, once feared, is now only a forgotten whisper. And the universe rejoices, for evil is no more. Darkness has lost its power, its master cast away. The battle that raged for eons is finally over. Truth stands unchallenged, love reigns over all. No more war, no more lies, no more rebellion. The Creator's plan from the beginning has been fulfilled. What Lucifer sought to destroy has only been made stronger, for the light has won, and it will never fade. Eternity belongs to the righteous, forever in peace. With the adversary defeated, creation is made whole again. A new heaven and a new earth rise from the ashes of the old. There is no more death, no more suffering, no more pain. Every tear is wiped away, every sorrow forgotten. Mankind walks with their Creator once more, as in the beginning. No fear, no doubt, no separation remains. For the brokenness of the world has been undone, and paradise is restored, never to be lost again. Those who remained faithful now stand in eternal glory. Their trials, their suffering, all led them to this moment. They are clothed in light, their burdens lifted forever. The reward of the righteous is beyond imagination, for they chose truth over lies, love over pride. They did not follow the deceiver, and now they stand victorious. Their names are written in the book of life, and they will dwell in joy, forever unshaken. Every soul stands before the great white throne. All deeds, good and evil, are laid bare before the Creator. None can hide, none can lie, for truth reigns supreme. Some will enter eternal joy, others eternal separation. Those who followed the adversary will share his fate. Not by wrath, but by their own choices, they are judged. For the battle was always one of the heart, and each must answer for whom they chose to serve. Time itself bends and reshapes in the presence of eternity. The struggle between good and evil has reached its conclusion. No more will history repeat the cycle of sin and redemption. For the world of pain and war is no more. The old things have passed away, and the new has come. The story of Lucifer is finished, its lesson eternal. He who rose highest has fallen the lowest, and the universe moves forward without him. Darkness had its time, but light has prevailed. What was once uncertain is now unshakable truth. No more doubts, no more fears, no more questions. The radiance of the Creator fills all that exists. Not a corner of the universe is untouched by his glory. The morning star was cast down, but the true light remains. For love is eternal, and nothing can stand against it. And so, the dawn of eternity begins. Lucifer's fate has been sealed, his kingdom turned to dust. The echoes of his rebellion have faded into nothingness. No longer does he walk among the stars nor rule in shadows. The Prince of Darkness has lost his throne forever. And yet his story is not forgotten, but serves as a warning. For pride, deception, and the thirst for power lead only to ruin. Those who seek to rise above the divine will always fall. For there is only one true king, and he reigns forever. Though Lucifer himself is gone, his influence lingers in memory. Mankind will always struggle with the same choice he once made. The temptation to rebel, to carve their own path, still exists. But with the deceiver gone, the truth is easier to see. No more lies, no more false promises of forbidden power. The world is free to choose, without fear of his whispers. The struggle is no longer against darkness, but against oneself. For within every soul, the battle of light and dark continues. Lucifer's story serves as a lesson for all creation. Even the most powerful, the most beautiful, can fall. No one is beyond the reach of pride's destruction. He had everything, yet he wanted more, and so he lost it all. His rebellion was not just against God, but against truth itself. And truth cannot be broken, no matter how great the deceiver. For in the end, every lie is exposed, every mask removed, and only righteousness remains, unshaken and eternal. Unlike Lucifer's fleeting dominion, the kingdom of heaven stands forever. No force can rise against it, no enemy can overthrow it. The Creator's rule is absolute, not by force, but by love. For true power does not come from deception, but from truth. Those who sought to destroy it have only made it stronger. The war is over, the victory is complete, and the universe rests in perfect peace. Never again will darkness challenge the light.